Elon Musk just shocked. USA will destroy Russia. This startling statement from Elon Musk will give you goosebumps, and you'd start thinking that World War III is ultimately here. Nothing can be more frightening than it at this point. But still, Musk said the USA will destroy Russia. Why did he do that? Does he know any secret game plan? Or is he just annoyed with the current scenario? Well, today we are going to shed some light on the fact that Elon Musk was just shocked, saying, USA will destroy Russia, and also the current scenario between the US and Russia regarding the Russia-Ukraine war. So, do you want to know more about this? Then watch the video till the end. Hey guys, welcome to the Elon Musk planet. Get the latest Elon Musk news by subscribing and turning on your notifications. Also, leave a thumbs up to show your love. Having said that, let's begin. Elon Musk has stated that the United States would destroy Russia and will assist Ukraine. Musk and Zelensky reached an agreement on the supply of a new batch of Starlings. Vladimir Zelensky, president of Ukraine, Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla and SpaceX, met with him on March 5th, and they agreed to deliver the next batch of Starlink satellite communication equipment. I had a conversation with Elon Musk. I appreciate his comments and actions in favor of Ukraine. We'll get another round of Starlink systems for damaged cities next week. Zelensky stated on Instagram and Twitter, as well as posting a video of the chat, that he and Musk had also discussed prospective space ventures. He emphasized that these might be discussed in greater depth after the conflict. On February 27th, Musk said that the Starlink service was accessible in Ukraine and that terminals to support it had been deployed there. Mikhail Fedorov, Ukraine's deputy prime minister for digital transformation and an IT entrepreneur, announced the arrival of the first shipment of equipment a day later. At the same time, he made no mention of the type of equipment Ukraine got or how it will be utilized. But Dmitry Rogozin, the CEO of the Russian corporation Roscosmos, responded by saying that the supply of Starlink is irrelevant. As a result, Rogozin dubbed it Musk's next war PR effort. Musk requested on March 4th that the ground-based Starlink internet connection equipment be used with caution in Ukraine because it may become a target for an attack. The Russian military might trace the signals and use them to direct missiles, but there is no evidence of this. Users will be able to connect to the internet through satellites in Earth orbit using these gadgets. There is currently no information on who the network access system is meant for. According to the BBC, there is a chance that they will only be utilized by Ukrainian officials and not by Ukrainian individuals. In Ukraine, the internet connection is currently stable. However, it is projected that the network's speed and quality might decline with time. Elon Musk has previously written a post in support of both Ukrainians and Russians. Rallies are being staged in major Russian cities in the hopes of stopping the conflict in Ukraine. The billionaire also urged for immediate countermeasures against Russia. Elon Musk, an entrepreneur, has called on American businesses and governments to raise oil and gas production immediately, in an emergency mode to replace Russian fuels. It's uncomfortable to talk about it, but we need to immediately raise oil and gas output, he stated on Twitter on March 4th. In unusual times, extraordinary measures are required, said Musk. With this comment, Tesla CEO stated that the green energy business is currently unable to respond quickly to the scenario created by the events in Ukraine. Oil, gas, and their refined products, particularly gasoline, are all fast growing in price. Sanctions against Russia have had a significant impact on the economies of other major nations. Sustainable energy alternatives will not be able to substitute for Russian oil and gas exports shortly. Although Musk recognizes that making a declaration like this regarding increased hydrocarbon output will hurt Tesla's electric vehicle sales. According to Ted Carpenter, an expert on international affairs who wrote an essay for the National Interest magazine, the worldwide anti-Russian alliance at the UN that the US formed and supported has run into severe challenges. This, he believes, is demonstrated by the United Nations General Assembly's voting on a resolution urging that Russia end its military operation in Ukraine. The resolution demands that Russia cease its use of force in Ukraine and remove its soldiers. The sanctions placed on Russia have had a significant impact on the country. The conflict between Russia and the United States is heating up. However, the dispute between Russia and the United States has lately worsened as a result of Ukrainian President Zelensky's efforts to seal the sky above Ukraine. The implementation of a NATO no-fly zone over Ukraine, according to Russian President Vladimir Putin, will be viewed as NATO's participation in an armed confrontation. The Russian Federation's president declared that they have now figured out why a no-fly zone above Ukraine's land is required by other countries. It is difficult for other countries to attack them from within Ukraine's borders. It is only conceivable from the territory of a few neighboring states, but any movement towards Russia would be seen as involvement in the armed struggle of the country, whose territory will be used to generate threats to Russia. At the same time, Russia will see them as participants in military combat regardless of whose organizations they belong to. The US is also opposed to the concept of establishing a no-fly zone over Ukraine, according to the White House. The clause would necessitate the presence of US armed forces, perhaps resulting in a direct clash and a potential war with Russia. A petition to NATO requesting the establishment of a no-fly zone over Ukraine has received 1 million votes, needed to be considered. The alliance was just required to consider the appeal. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg cautioned on Friday that if a no-fly zone is implemented, it will be conceivable to discuss a full-scale war in Europe. In an armed war, what does the term no-fly zone mean? During a military confrontation, no-fly zones are frequently established over a state's territory. In reality, military aviation acts are strictly prohibited. Any aircraft that flies into this area while the sky is entirely closed gets shot down. Even during times of peace, such limits might be enforced on key structures such as government buildings or stadiums during mass events or squares with huge crowds. All military aircraft that fly into a closed zone are destroyed in this situation. A no-fly zone has also been ruled out by US Secretary of State Antony Blinken. After all, he believes Ukraine can manage on its own. The Russian president ordered the transfer of deterrent troops to a special combat duty mode for all acts by the United States and NATO members on February 27th. And if an unmanned zone is established and Russian jets are shot down by the nations, it will effectively be the start of World War III. It would be installed by the US military. This would imply that US military aircraft are shooting down Russian jets. Even though 9 nations have joined the nuclear club, Jen Psaki, a White House spokeswoman, said the total size of nuclear arsenals is several times lower than it was during the Cold War. However, this will not protect you against a regional or worldwide disaster. In general, the Russian nuclear force's particular combat duty regime is associated with a high level of combat preparedness. Following that, Ukraine's president delivered a vehement address criticizing NATO leaders for their failure to impose a no-fly zone over the nation. Vladimir Zelensky, speaking from Kiev, claimed that the West's unwillingness to help has given Russia permission to continue attacking Ukraine's cities and villages. The White House has stated repeatedly that it opposes the concept of establishing a no-fly zone over Ukraine. According to Jen Psaki, the White House press secretary, enforcing a no-fly zone will need the development of US armed forces, which would result in a potential direct clash and war with Russia, which we do not want to join. Of course, this would be an escalation, perhaps leading to a military clash between the US and Russia. Psaki clarified that this is not what the president wants. These are all the reasons why it isn't a good idea. She emphasized that the US is presently debating whether or not to prohibit the purchase of Russian oil as part of sanctions against Russia for its special military operation to demilitarize and pacify Ukraine. The closing of airspace with Russia has been declared by several countries. There are a total of 37 nations, and Russia has barred flights from 36 of them as a punitive action. All European nations, save the Balkans, have blocked their airspace to Russian aircraft, making it exceedingly impossible to exit Russia. So as you can see, Russia has totally been cornered by the US and other countries. It takes us to a big question. Will this situation make Russia think twice before taking any aggressive decision? Or would the US have to end up doing something terrible that would destroy Russia? Let us know in the comment section. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more Tesla news, Elon Musk and new technology. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell. See you soon. Until then, peace.